Okay. Let's see how that works. So there's one going. Yeah, okay, I guess I'll turn my light on. There. Light on. Yeah, that's better quality. I just don't like sitting in my office with the light on. I like sitting in my office with the light off. No, I don't want that one specifically. Not that one either. Maybe this one. Maybe this is the one that is. Why don't I save it saved? Why don't I save it? Is it this one? Yeah, there you go. Something like that. Something like that. Oh, let me zoom in and out. No, no. Okay, I think we got set up now. I gotta adjust this on here though. There. Now that should be set up. Okay. We are now streaming on TikTok, YouTube, and I'm experimenting with this again. I'm still trying to figure out all this live streaming stuff. So, hey, here to talk about cruising, and I'm here to experiment on how this works. Because supposedly on YouTube, I'm supposed to be able to, it might be in the settings, be able to live stream one way, but it should display both. I don't know what that is. There, live chat. Perfect. On TikTok, I should be doing the same. So yeah, if you any questions about cruising, let me know. We'll talk about it. Oh, that is not me. That's totally the wrong person. And let's see how it looks. There, I see myself. Wow, that is a huge delay. So test. That's like a 5-second delay on YouTube. That is crazy. I wonder if TikTok has like a 5-second delay too in the live streaming. Or that's just, I wonder. Last time I did this, it wasn't that big of a delay. Yeah. Oh well. I guess we're just gonna go with it. We'll just go with it. So yeah, if you have any questions about cruising, I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat. And at the same time, I'm just gonna work on stuff in the background, whether it be my course, whether it be you know what, let's do a price quote. And I'm gonna do that because why the heck not? I haven't done a daily quote today. So let's pull up one. Yeah, my most recent cruise was on the Carnival Breeze. My next one actually is not a traditional cruise in the sense that I'm going to be on a ship for a few days. It's actually going to be a ship tour. So as a travel agent, I'm actually able to go on ship tours to basically get a tour of the ship for the day. So the one I'm going on right now or the one I'm going on next Sunday, is on the MSC Seascape out of Galveston. So that's actually the ship that I'm gonna be selling on in March. So in March, I'll be selling on the MSC Seascape out of Galveston, and actually have a exclusive deal on that ship. So I had a group going on there. That pricing has changed since it's past final payment, but there is still availability. There's a few rooms, but the super amazing deal I had on that has expired. I still can get you a better deal than we should get direct, but it used to be like saving you hundreds of dollars and get extras and the drink package and onboard credit. So super cheap compared to what you buy directly. Now you get a few extra bucks because those rooms as past final payment have been given back to the cruise line. So my saving you like $1,000+ on a cruise has passed for that selling. But on MSC, I did take out some more group space that eventually I will have pretty good deals on there coming up. I'll double check when that is. Let me double check that real quick. But in general, I'll be on the Seascape. I actually got an email about it today confirming my availability. MSC travel. Can't remember the MSC book. That's right. Confirming my availability on there. So I think I got the rough itinerary today. I have to log into my email on that one. Going to arrive on the ship about 10 a.m. in Galveston, and then we're going to tour the ship. We're going to see a few of the rooms, get to see the ship, get a have some of the dining, and what we're going to have that day is going to kind of be up in the air. It's simply on any ship tour I've been on, it's always kind of up in the air. Sometimes it lets you have like the main dining room option, and sometimes it's just the buffet or one of the restaurants that had to be open. That's usually not decided in advance sometimes. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. And on this one, they said they don't know where we're going to eat at as of yet for that day. But there's going to be a ship tour. To give a general overview of what it looks like, let me check on my emails. I saw that this morning. Chicka. Where there it is, Jordan. So yeah, get there at 11:30. Okay, 10:30 is when it starts. So not as early as I was hoping for. Usually it's like 10:30. That's actually about normal. Usually the first ones to board the ship. Only people that typically board before you on those kind of things, it's like wedding parties. Only 10 people I see aboard me for us for that. Typically be the first ones on the ship, and then we are going to do the ship tour, and then so what, at noon, lunch, 1:30, continue ship tour, and off by the ship by 3. So it's kind of bittersweet that I get to experience the ship, get to see what it's about, but I don't get to stay out there for very long, unfortunately. Get to experience a taste of what the cruise is. So this is going to be cool because I have not been on any MSC cruise. My first MSC cruise, and I had a group going in March, so I got them a pretty good deal. And I was kind of bitter for the fact that I didn't get invited to the travel agent opening, and I was not able to do that overnight events. I was on the wait list for it, but I was on the wait list. I did not necessarily get there first. I know how it is. It's usually based on sales. And with MSC, I'd never sold any MSC cruises, nor have I been on one. So I know I didn't get invited. I got on the wait list. So I wasn't the first to see that in Galveston, but I finally got one on the 25th. That's Sunday, whatever that Sunday is. I'll be on that ship, so that's gonna be awesome. So I'm gonna have a ship tour video of that coming out very soon here, hopefully by beginning of February. The ship tour videos don't usually let me. They're pretty easy to put together, especially if you're doing one big run. So I should be able to have that one up by the following weekend, and that's gonna be priority. I think I just saw a comment on YouTube, and again, I'm experimenting with live streaming. Kind of got the gist of it on TikTok. On YouTube, I'm still getting the hang of it, and I saw a comment pop up. I don't know how to check up my comments on YouTube, so let me act like I am. I don't know how to do it on this video. I seen it. I knew who it was. Jolly Cruise Vlogger. I saw you. I saw your name pop up. Don't know how much you're live. I'm gonna actually have my work computer in front of me here and my personal computer. So I'm probably gonna hop on my work computer, go to YouTube real quick and see comments that way. Because again, I'm trying to experiment. Yeah, I see a top fans, Jolly Cruise Vlogger. I want to see all chats. There we go. Oh, I figured it out on my phone. Sweet. Now I need to find a more efficient way of doing that. All right, MSC will be the first. Okay, they disappeared on there, so I'm gonna figure that out later. I'm gonna watch some YouTube tutorials on how to efficiently live stream on YouTube. TikTok, I got it out. It shows you comments on the screen. YouTube, it does not, and if it does, I don't know how to keep it up efficiently. See, this is why I'm experimenting. So my first MSC will be on the World America in October, unless I go before it. That's gonna be fun. There's a lot of people trying MSC right now. A lot of people. So I'm super excited. It's a new cruise line in town for me. I know you're in Florida, so that way you have a lot more access than I do. But for me, in Galveston, you only have a few options. You have some good options, but Virgin Voyages is not there. I really want to do Virgin Voyages. MSC is now there. I've been wanting to try MSC. I know there's a lot of conflicting opinions on that, but still, like, I take everything with a grain of salt. They say it sucks. They say it's bad. It's cheap. Food's bad. But I'm like, it probably is good, but if it's not exactly what you're expecting or expecting to be that and rigid like another cruise line, of course you're not going to be a fan of it. It may not be the fit for everyone, so that's I understand. But I feel like if you go in with an open mind, regardless if it's what you want it to be, it's going to be a good time. You just got to enjoy it. It's all about your attitude. Now, when you go on that cruise again a second time, that's going to be like, hey, yeah, I had a good time on that cruise, but it's not my cup of tea. Going somewhere else next time. Nothing wrong with that. But I wouldn't put a cruise line down just because I don't like it. I know you have a philosophy as me, Jolly Cruise Vlogger, that, hey, I forget the exact same, but it's so beautiful. Like, I wish I'm the one waking up with it. And I'm like, man, that's just because a cruise day is better than a work day any day. I think that's what you say, and I love it. That's gonna be like my life motto. So that is so true, and that's how I'm gonna be like on the MSC. So even if it's not something that I truly enjoy, it's not my cup of tea, I'm still gonna have a good time on a cruise ship. It's a cruise ship, and I'm really happy to do that first MSC with a bunch of friends. So I did a group booking. There's some coworkers that when I put the deal out on TikTok, they saw that, hey, this cruise is a very good deal. And it was funny because they were actually trying to book a Carnival cruise, and they had a casino deal going on. So it was a pretty good rate, drinks included, they had onboard credit. And with MSC coming to Galveston, I think they priced their stuff very competitively. So I'm not sure if that's a normal MSC thing or just because they're trying to go out of Galveston. So I was able to get a group booking, and for about the same price, a longer cruise. So I think the way it worked out was about $3,000. For under $3,000, actually theirs was cheaper. For under $3,000, it was a 7-day cruise out of Galveston on spring break. This is the caveat to it. It was a spring break cruise. So this is already typically expensive cruises on any cruise line during spring break. A balcony room for 4 people, with the, I call it package for the adults, which is a premium plus. The onboard credit for each cabin, $75 onboard cabin, as well as Wi-Fi for one, in a balcony room, a 7-day cruise during spring break. And it's the minors package for the kids, so they get unlimited drinks as well. But it was a good deal. And they had a casino deal, which was pretty darn good, which gave them drinks everywhere around the ship. But it was still cheaper than their casino deal. If it was for two people, the Carnival Casino deal probably would have been better. Let's be honest. But because they're taking the whole family, they had the two kids, it was pretty competitive. So they chose MSC. They're going to join us on MSC. They told their some of the friends about a good deal, and MSC was pricing their stuff pretty competitively. When I looked at it last time, it wasn't as competitive as it was when they first announced going on Galveston, but it's still pretty darn deal, pretty darn good deal. So it was. And their casino deal probably would have been better if it wasn't spring break. That's the caveat there. The casino deals are typically stronger than that on Carnival if you're a heavy casino person, which they are, except for the fact it was spring break. So it wasn't as good a deal as usual they get. And so when they saw this MSC deal better than their casino deal on spring break, no brainer. So I'm hoping to do more cruises like that, and I've even taken out some more space on MSC in the future out of Galveston. I actually took out some group space for spring break of 2027 and for summer of 2027. So those are only advertised, one as a spring break cruise and one as a graduation cruise. So I got plenty of deals coming with MSC. So I'm really hoping that I like MSC, because I know a lot of people were mad about Carnival, about what Carnival has done lately with their loyalty program change. So that's kind of how the people who coming with me on MSC as part of the group, they're loyal, diehard Carnival fans. So they were kind of mad about the change, but not really, because they still get casino deals. So casino deals still makes it better than the cruise line. And they done Royal Caribbean our time too. They like Royal Caribbean too. It just offers on Carnival are just so much better. So when this MSC deal came out, they're like, man, they may switch. And they got status match on the MSC too. And it's funny because even on the same cruise line, experiences may vary. So I saw you mentioned that you've been on Carnival and it was just a horrible experience. So it's weird because I've even been on a Carnival cruise on the same ship, same sailing, like 5-6 months apart, about 6 months apart, and it was a completely different experience. Even Carnival Breeze out of Galveston, 5-day cruise, same cruise director, same itinerary, same port stops, and it was completely night and day difference. Not the entire ship, but like the entertainment specifically. So I went on a Carnival Breeze back in May, and the cruise director, she was great both times. But the rest of the fun squad, not the fun squad itself, but the entertainment crew, they changed out completely. The fun squad did change completely. The fun squad was still a lot of fun, a lot of good, but the entertainment was different. It was weird that I was on the same cruise, same itinerary, same cruise director, different cast. It was a 9-day difference. So the first event that we saw, the first show, was Flick, which I say Flick was just about as good as the second time when I went in December than it was in May. The one in May was slightly better, but the one in December was pretty darn good. But then the other shows were very odd and different and had no kind of choreography at all. Versus the first time I went, I'm going to make a YouTube video about this, comparing it basically from one sailing to another, going differences. That even though you're on the same cruise, same ship, same cruise director, same sailing, same itinerary, it can be a completely different experience. The first time, they were dancing, they were singing, they were flipping on all of the shows they put on. This time, their show was very bland and plain, and I'm thinking, what's the point of having the cast members on stage if they're just going to sit there the whole time? Literally, I have a video of it. I even showed my wife because my wife didn't believe me. She was like, this is probably one of the worst Carnival shows I've ever seen. They're singing good, they're great singers, but all the people were usually dancing into the background. They're all sitting in the chair the entire time. And I'm like, this is weird because this didn't happen back in May. Because then back in May, they're doing flips, they were dancing, they were picking each other up, spinning each other, doing all kinds of stuff. And it wasn't because the ship was rocky. It was rocky day one because it was during the winter and Galveston had 50-mile-per-hour winds. But the next day during the show's rest of the cruise, it was pretty smooth sailing. So it wasn't a reason for them not to be jumping and dancing. But the entire act, they sat in the chair and just nodded their head, just like this. As the main two people saying, everyone else just sat in the chair. So I don't understand why that is. But I can see how someone else will cruise one time, could have a bad experience and not like it, or not think it's their cup of tea, and it's just because he wanted a bad sailing. I don't think it's necessarily always the case. Because that cruise was a lot of fun, because I did it with my wife, that one in December. That was our anniversary cruise. But as far as the shows were, they were horrible. It was the worst series of shows I've seen on a Carnival ship at all. So yes, you could have two completely different experiences. So yeah, I haven't gone too much detail about that. I think I made a quick TikTok about that, about my experience. I think some people saw a story that I made about something that went wrong on my Carnival ship, and I'm gonna make a YouTube video on that one because that one was pretty darn. No wait, I think I already made the YouTube. I already posted that video, didn't I? I did post that video already. Yeah, so that one, that was an interesting experience on Carnival. I had a issue on day one on my cruise. Okay, I remember why I thought I didn't have made a short of it. I made a long form video of that experience, but yeah, I made a short one of it. But I went on a Carnival cruise, got to our room. We were enjoying it, perfect. Got our drinks, got our food, went to our room because I said our rooms were ready, and it smelled horrible. And our room was wet, and it was just a nightmare in my head because we're in an accessible room. So if you don't know what it wasn't fully accessible, it was the ambulatory room. So it was for people who need help getting around. So my first thought was someone's adult diaper busted. It smelled that bad. It was horrible. And I was scared because it was a sold out cruise. So we're not going to get a replacement room, much as I wanted to. And fortunately, they came in and scrubbed the room pretty darn good. They used the machines and scrubbed it out and cleaned it about 20 times, I feel like. But they made it right. I was scared. So yeah, that was an experience I've never had on any cruise line. I don't hold that against Carnival. It was pretty poor. They should have had a sign saying, hey, your specific room is not ready yet. We're still working on it. But it was a horrible experience, but they made it right. They cleaned it up very quickly. You couldn't tell afterwards, and I inspected it pretty heavily because I wasn't about to have that. So I would say give cruise lines a chance. Okay, so yeah, so Joe Cruise Rock. So yeah, that's an interesting experience. I wonder why that happens. In my mind, when I saw that happening, I always like to give people a benefit of doubt, no matter what. Sometimes there's things that should be thrown their way. They probably deserve it, but I try not to do that to my best ability. In my mind, I was justifying it. Like, okay, maybe they had someone in their group that got hurt. Because I was on a cruise before, Virgin Voyages, where they're doing an acrobatic show. In mid-show, one of the performers, I don't know the details, but they messed something up pretty badly mid-show, and everyone saw what happened in real time, and it was scary. So my mind was maybe someone hurt themselves on a show, and they haven't had time to redo choreography. They're just kind of take it easy, or maybe someone's sick, or maybe they're a new crew that has just got on, and they haven't synced up their dancing very well yet. Because if you're running across, doing flips and picking people up and turning, if you're not in perfect sync, it's very easy to run to someone and get hurt. So in my mind, I'm thinking maybe they're not doing the other dancing and performance stuff because they haven't got themselves into sync good enough yet to be able to perform without someone getting hurt. Because I'd much rather them have sit in their seats and nod their head and be annoyed by it than someone get hurt. That's how I justified it, at least. But it was not the best performance at all that I've seen, but more so. So seeing you say that, it may be a more common thing, maybe the same reason, I don't know. But when it comes to shows, though, in general, Princess takes the cake. Princess has the best shows I've ever seen, and I think I might have a performance of Princess on YouTube. I don't know, but they have the best shows, hands down. They go above and beyond, and there are no one that I've seen has a show as good as Princess. So I've been on Royal Caribbean, been on Carnival, been on Virgin Voyages, been on Margaritaville, and Princess. So I think that's all 5 that I've been on thus far. For Princess, Royal Caribbean, Virgin Voyages, Margaritaville, Carnival. Yeah. And Princess, hands down, had the best. They were definitely dancing. Their whole stage transformed. So very similar to what Royal Caribbean does, to where they're very interactive on the stage, but it takes it to a whole nother level. Like every single bottle on their bar scene was an actual bottle. They had actual doors. It wasn't all fake background stuff. It was all legit. They even did a Q&A, and they said it takes about 16 hours to set the stage for their show because it's that intricate. It's all real stuff, and it was pretty cool. That was a great experience. See, I see people say about Margaritaville. People say Margaritaville is the new Carnival, and I highly disagree with that. I could see Margaritaville being a horrible experience if you were on them when they first released. When they first released, I heard bad things about it. I haven't been on it. I was on the Paradise in the very start, and it was definitely the worst cruise I've ever been on. However, I've been on the Paradise. I've been on the Islander twice, and over the past 2 years, and it was one of my favorites. It's not the top entertainment, but the vibe is amazing, and it's a Spirit class ship. It's one of those older Carnival ships, so it's laid out perfectly. So I love it because of that. And I feel like Carnival needs to do that with some of their ships. Instead of trying to release the biggest, baddest ship and try to compete with Royal Caribbean, they need to do what Royal Caribbean is reportedly doing, is rebuild smaller ships. Because I know when Carnival announced a Jubilee, and they're trying to compete with the Icon, I'm thinking, man, it's not as big as the Icon, but it's going to hold a lot more people. It's going to be crowded. And that's my big complaint about the Jubilee, just way too crowded. They need to focus on building smaller ships, because their smaller ships is what I love. They don't have all the bells and whistles, but they're not crowded. They're easy to get around, easy to learn. Happy New Year's, Happy New Year's. Yes, hope everyone's having a good start to the year. And from Canada, that's pretty cool. You are now probably officially the second furthest person off of YouTube specifically that I've seen. I've seen people who live closer to me on TikTok. I reached some people from around the world on TikTok. On YouTube, specifically on live stream, Canada I think is the furthest one so far. That's just cool. I find that amazing to see people from all around the world. We all have the love of cruising. We all share that. What's my favorite cruise line? So that is going to be Virgin Voyages, hands down, is my favorite. So as much as I say the Princess was great on the entertainment, Princess checks a lot of boxes. They're the best food, specialty dining food specifically. Best customer service. They clean my room like 6 times a day anytime I left my cabin, because they could track where you're at anytime through the medallion. It was a great experience, but to me, that one's not where I want to be in life right now. It's a pretty chill cruise. It's not a bad thing. It's just I like to party on my cruise. I'm still young. My back is already starting. I'm slowly starting to show my age to where my back hurts, and I want to party as much as I can while my back holds up most of the time still. So I'm definitely going with Virgin Voyages, hands down, my favorite. The entertainment's kind of hit and miss. They vary on different ships now, but they're the best party at seas. All the food's included. That's a big thing to me. Up until recently, the gratuities are included. Now I can kind of part them out, which I don't agree with the decision, but hey, whatever. But I like the simplicity of, hey, you have Wi-Fi included, you have your food included, you have your classes included. You can pretty much do everything on the ship. One thing you pretty much pay for extra is alcohol and gambling, of course, but that's a given. No cruise line includes gambling, so that's why I love Virgin Voyages. They're great food, great experience. They're the best part of sea, and it's adult only. You can't beat that. No kids around. I love my kids. I take my kids on a crazy amount of cruises. When I did the math the other day, I'm like, wait a minute. They've been with me on how many cruises already? And yeah, they've been on like 4 or 5 cruises before I've been on my first cruise, age-wise. So when I can cruise without them, sometimes I definitely enjoy it. So like in Virgin Voyages, no kids allowed. No one's kids at all. So if you're under 18, you ain't getting on that ship. Even if you're 18, there's some restrictions until you're over 21. So it's a great experience. By far. And that one, I'm hoping to go on that one soon. And they have Virgin Voyages is another one of those cruise lines that they have some pretty good deals on last minute cruises, which is making a comeback. So if you're someone looking for last minute cruise deals, definitely check out on my TikTok, on my Instagram. I have an account called Bosque Vacations, which I pretty much post daily or nearly daily cruise deals on there. Then on my travel with Ernesto, on those two is more my vlog style like this and tips. And YouTube is a mix of two. So my YouTube, some of my shorts are gonna have those daily cruise deals. I don't post them all on YouTube. I post some of them on there. But on that one, I post everything that I have from TikTok onto YouTube, shorts wise, and long form videos. I make long form review videos on there, just so that way. I know it may be confusing for little people. I know some people want to see daily deals, so I have one account for that, and I have another account for vlog, and my YouTube is a mix of both. Hello, Mom. How you doing? Oh, in front of the just so y'all know, there's a lot of my YouTube has taken top. Actually, there's a specific video that's on all my social profiles except for Facebook. I posted on like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and it's gotten a lot of heat. A lot of people were talking trash on those videos. And I find it funny because people, by them commenting that, hey, this is wrong with your video, they're making my video more popular. So like on, I think on YouTube, on Instagram, it's gotten like over 1.5 million views last I checked. On TikTok, it was at, I don't remember what is on TikTok. That's actually the least of the three that's popular, but it still's got over 100,000 plus easily. And then on YouTube, it's approaching like 500,000. Actually, no, it's gotten 758,000 views since it was published. Basically, it was me doing the drink challenge. All I did was try to hit 15 drinks a day on Carnival, and people were leaving all kinds of comments. One that, you know, I'm an alcoholic, which I find funny because I've only drank on cruises really, and even then it's kind of selectively. I thought that was fun. Other people were making fun of what kind of drinks I was trying. It was day one of the cruise, the drink package. I'm gonna try every drink out there. I don't care if it's a girly drink or not. But a lot of people were talking snap about what kind of drinks I was drinking, and then other people were mad or called me out saying this wasn't taking it all one day. You're lying because I changed outfits 4 times in a day. I'll be honest, that was extreme. My wife likes to be matchy matchy, and throughout the day, to different events, she likes to wear different outfits. Why? I don't know. I find it fun. So yes, I did change outfit. I had 4 different outfits that day: one for breakfast, one for lunch, one for daytime, or one for breakfast, one for like daytime, like from after breakfast to just before dinner. Then we had dinner outfit. We would dress up nice in a tie and a dress and all that stuff. Then the evening outfit. So I changed 4 times. So a lot of people were like, "No, you can do this in one day because you change outfits 4 times." You're lying. No, I'm sorry. We're just weird. We like to change a lot apparently on cruises. Um, then people were like, "Oh, those drinks are weak because you're not drunk. You're sober at the beginning and you're pretty much just as sober at the end. Therefore, those drinks are watered down." No, it just I started drinking at 7 a.m. and ended at midnight. 15 drinks. Do the math. That's roughly 1 drink an hour, which is about the same rate your body metabolizes alcohol. So yes, there was a few times to where I didn't really feel anything. Not because it was weak, because I drunk responsibly throughout the day. There was one point where I had like 4 drinks in an hour to where I got a buzz, but then back to 1 drink an hour basically is what it came out to. Not on purpose, just happened that way. But because I drank responsibly. So they're calling that out. I just find it funny because all of a sudden, and they're like, "Oh no, you make trash content." But I'm like, "Yeah, you are now helping my video explode, get over 1.5 million video views, and of all my social medias, only one I'm monetized on is YouTube. So you commenting that my content is trash is making me money." So yeah, keep commenting, keep watching. Thank you. I find that hilarious. Hate. People, some people have hate, but I don't take it personally. I don't know, everyone can handle that, but people sometimes say things just because they're mad at life or their situation, take it on me. But I have no hard feelings against them. I just laugh it off and go on my merry way. Which is also fine when people get mad with Royal Caribbean and Carnival and get that kind of argument about which one's better, one's trash, blah, 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 blah. Everyone's idea is a good time. A good time is different. So you say you found the key of getting casino deals on a Carnival cruise without spending much. May I ask you what that is? I'm just curious because I'm comparing notes because I know several people who get really good casino deals and some of them just gamble like crazy. And there's some people that get good casinos, not as good as those people who a lot, but they actually only spend maybe a few hundred, if that, on a cruise, or maybe less than that, and still get some pretty darn good casino deals. But I see some mixed theories of which one's which. And I've seen several methods work for individuals but not work for others. So I wonder if there's like a combination of things. That's always a good, I guess, conversation to have because I find that interesting. I don't gamble like at all. Like I gambled once and played a few hands. I lost money. I lost $20 and I was mad and I left. But that's just me. I don't have any tolerance for gambling. If I win, I win. I don't, I don't. I think the most I ever gambled was in Vegas. And I spent, no, it wasn't in Vegas. It was in Oklahoma, WinStar. And I borrowed $150, lost all the way down to like $10, played a few random high risk moves, won it. Then I did something crazy and I won, basically won more money than it was a wash because I brought 150. I won like 250, which covered basically the food there, covered the gas to get there, covered the money that I lost. So it was fun. See, half cabbing? I'm butchering that. But I feel like that's probably the most common one I hear out there that actually works. You spend 203 casino in 7 days. Um, I feel like that's the one that's probably the most consistent. If you spend a few hundred, but you spend it over the duration of the cruise, I feel like most people get results with it. I've seen people who do that and don't get good casino deals, but I feel like that's probably your safest bet on Carnival how to get it. On Royal Caribbean, I'm not sure exactly how it works. I don't do it, but I know Royal Caribbean they have a little chart saying you get this many points, this is your reward. Um, how you get that many points, I don't know. I haven't looked into it much, but it looks pretty straightforward. But Carnival is one of those that seems to be a little more of a mystery, but I've seen if you do it over a period of several days, I think I've seen people who get the most consistent results from that. And even though I don't gamble, I would say I would agree with that because I'm a travel agent as well, and I see people who book those cruises and say that's what they did on the cruise, and they get good deals. It's not a guarantee, but I see that to be kind of consistent. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'm going to be here. I'm just kind of chilling and talking till my voice goes out because I had class today from 9 to noon. I was on, so my voice, I've been talking since all morning, and then I was on the phone for I don't know how long. Phone's recording, so I can't even check how long it was, and that got my voice down, and here I am killing my voice again. Okay, can't handle my liquor. Okay, let's this December, not December. What am I saying December for? Wrong cruise. I already went on my December cruise. Um, January 2026. Meet me on the breeze. We'll see what happens then. I would say on MSC, but you already have another cruise there on the spring break because I had the drink package on the one on spring break. I don't have the one in June, so may have to do another cruise. Figure out that one. Yeah, the family that Mr. Port in Florida went to the wrong one. I think it was with Tony's from La Lila Loca. I think I watched that video yesterday or this morning. I don't remember. About a family who went to the wrong cruise port. That is my worst nightmare. And I feel like that is becoming even a bigger nightmare now that I'm doing travel agent stuff. So when I book my own cruise, before I was a travel agent, even if I was after, I'm always super paranoid about what port I'm going to. Like this Galveston, obviously I know what Galveston. But when I set out of Florida, there are so many ports in Florida. And I know there's a few of y'all here from Florida watching this. You have Fort Lauderdale, you have Orlando, you have Miami. I know Miami's way off the point, but you have Orlando, Fort Lauderdale, and Palm Beach. You even have West Palm Beach, and those ports are like right next to each other, within like 50 miles or something from each other, and they're all popular ports. So it kind of gets confusing of which port to go to. So especially if I'm going somewhere other than Galveston or New Orleans, because there's only one port in both of those places, really. I get paranoid and I double check and I triple check the itinerary, the actual physical address. I don't like Googling, hey, Carnival Cruise Line Cruise Port, Florida, because you'll see all of them. Or you'll pick one out random and it'll zoom you into that one. I go to the physical address on my confirmation page from my cruise. Because they'll say, hey, show up at this address. I go to the confirmation page. And even as a travel agent now, when I book people out of a port, I'm like, hey, by the way, this specific address is for your specific cruise. So if you're going out of Florida, you have West Palm Beach, you have Palm Beach, you have Fort Lauderdale. All those are like right next to each other. I could be wrong on top of my head. But my point is, they're all near each other. It's easy to get them mixed up. Because, we have Port Canaveral. 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 We have Port C West Palm Beach is a little further down. You have Miami, Port Everglades. Yeah, Port Canaveral, Miami are not too far from each other, and you have West Palm Beach. And like Carnival goes out of both those terminals, Port Everglades, and Miami. A lot of cruise lines do that, so I'm always extra scared of those. Like MC goes out of both of those, Royal Caribbean goes out of both of those. Gotta be careful. I do give them props for admitting that it was their fault. That is my worst nightmare. I see some of these horror stories and I'm like, I'm gonna learn from that person's mistake, so that way I don't make the exact same mistake. No, I have not been on NCL yet. I don't know much about NCL except I hear good things about it. So NCL is definitely on the list of cruise lines I want to try one day, but I have not been on it. And out of Galveston, at least, there are 7-day cruises, and there are more expensive cruise line. Not to say they're out of my budget per se, but the dates don't really line up for as when I'm out of school, and I had to go on a lot of cruises. And if I could do some cheaper cruises, if I want 2 or 3 cruises for the same price as one, I'm doing 3. Simple as that. The Royal Caribbean cruise I went on, the one I went on, was $1,100 for 4 people. Kids sell free. It was super cheap. During that same time frame, was the price on cruises. It was gonna be like $5,000 for 4 people on NCL. Simple as that. I could go on the Royal Caribbean cruise. My following Carnival cruise that went on after that was like $1,800. And then my Virgin Voyages cruise, I got on a specifically good deal because I'm a travel agent. That one costed me next to nothing. So I went on those 3 cruises for like little over, well, $4,000. So it's 1,100, 18, so it's 29. So roughly, for less than $4,000, I went on 3 cruises. 1 Royal Caribbean, 1 Carnival, 1 Virgin Voyages. Or I could have gone on 1 NCL cruise. I want to try NCL though. I heard good things. I do want to try it, but that's kind of how I make my decisions on where to cruise. I want to get the deals. That's why I haven't tried Disney Cruise yet too. Disney Cruise is kind of expensive. However, there's some good last minute deals on Disney from time to time. Maybe I'll look at that. See, I know I posted one about a week and a half ago with Disney last minute cruise. It was a good deal. Last minute cruises are making a comeback. Used to, they went away for a while. There used to be all last minute cruise deals. Now, ships were selling capacity and then they weren't, but they're making a comeback now. They're slowly making a comeback. Most of them in the form of casino deals. Even without casino deals, some of them are starting to get pretty competitive. So, ships are still selling out at or near capacity, but it's starting to weaken a little bit, which is good news for us. That means cheaper cruises, or at least cheaper last minute cruises. The prices are still pretty high compared to what they used to be. No, that'd be my first MSC one. I have not been on MSC as of yet. Anyone got any questions about some cruises? I'll have to keep talking. I'll keep talking till my voice goes out, which is probably another. Oh, it's already 2:30. Oh wow. Time flies. I was supposed to be doing something else at the same time. I forgot. I started on it. Oh, I was supposed to be doing a script for my ship tour video. That's what I was supposed to be doing. I was supposed to be writing a script. So my multitasking is not going very well. Find a cruise for March 23rd to 27th. Yeah, do you have a preference on the cruise line, a preference on cabin, and how many people? I can kind of look into that. Um, Ideally, the best way to probably go about that is I'm hoping everyone can see it properly. I'm not sure how it displays, but I'm gonna move it up the screen a little bit. If you go to now, it should be right above my face. If you take a screenshot of that right there, this is the bosquevacations.com/book with me, and copy and paste on the URL, you'll take you to my my website. And if you fill out that form, that pretty much ask all the questions I can that I would need to give you an accurate quote. Because I would need like what preferred cruise line, if you don't have a preferred cruise line, if you've been on a cruise line, do you have a VIP offer? Because sometimes the public rates are one, but if you maybe have a VIP offer for like Carnival or one for Royal Caribbean, it could be a specific one. Is it too late? No, it is not too late in general. So for example, I have a spring break group cruise going on Embassy out of Galveston. And that is March 8th through, I think, 15th. Whatever 7 days is after the 8th. Do the math. But there's still room on that ship. And that's during spring break. So there's still going to be room afterwards on maybe some other cruise lines. But just know it might be slim pickings. It's not too late. But I've seen other sellings around that time with other cruise lines, like with Royal Caribbean. Around spring break time, there was like one Sunday had like 2 rooms left, literally like 2 rooms. So is it too late? No. But you are going to get what you get. There's not going to be as large selection, especially if you're talking about March of this year. Now next year, you're going to have options. Ideally, you want to book as far as out in the future, so you have more selection. So I know someone was looking into some of those cruises. So it kind of depends. Not too late unless you want to be picky about what you want to go. So if you're looking for a specific cruise line, like especially like Royal Caribbean, they've been getting pretty tight this close. So I was even looking at Royal Caribbean, trying to find a good deal on a last minute Royal Caribbean cruise the other day. And I found some, but it's very hard. If I do find one of those good deals, it's like there's 1 or 2 cabins left. So they will go quick. In general, you want to go out as far as possible. Like, okay, I don't know, YouTube could see it, but TikTok, let me move you a little slightly. Those are my upcoming cruises. So I have one spring break, then I have one this summer, then I have one for 2027 already booked. So, and I booked this one like 6 months ago. So that one is spring break of 2027, and I booked that roughly 2 years out in advance. Just because get the better pricing if you book early, and you get the exact room you want. Versus if you wait the other extreme, like trying to book from 2 months from now, you could definitely find some sellings, but you're gonna have slim pickings. So I had someone wanting to go last minute January cruise with Royal Caribbean, and that's what I was kind of referring to earlier. And they had like a handful of sellings at all, and even all those handful of sellings, it was only a suite room available, or it's only an interior room. So, and also it depends on how many people are going to room, because some rooms only fit 2 people. So there may be rooms available, but maybe only for 2 people, or maybe only for 5 people, or something like that. Just something to keep in mind. I need to find more ship tours to go. I'm gonna go to Carnival. See if they have any coming up. And if you're interested in becoming a travel agent too, I'm also a host agency, or I could host you, teach you the ropes of how to do that. Just again, send me the message on my website. Just know it's not free travel. Yes, you can get some free travel, but it's not a given. And I hate when I see people say, hey, look, become a travel agent just for the free travel. No, yes, you can get free travel, but a lot of it's based on sales and some of it's based on luck. Some of it is just, you get out of it what you put in. So don't do it just for the free travel. You're likely not to get it if you're just only doing it and you don't have any sales. Sometimes there's raffles, sometimes it varies. Think of it this way. If you can't make them money, they're only give that to people who make them money. Because if you don't, they're still a business. They're not going to just give away free travel just for giving free travel. They're going to hopefully think you're worth it to make them more money on the back end. With that being said, I've gotten some free travel. But it's work. It's work. I hate when people say it's free money, it's easy. I don't give that illusion. I give people the real talk. So I had 2 travel agents that work for me as well. And I was upfront with them saying, hey, it's work. You can make as much or as little money as you want, but it is work. But it is pretty flexible too. And somehow I got to the Australia website. I'm not trying to look Australia. How did I get to Australia? Oh, shipboard opportunities. Seminar at sea. No, the Venetia is... Oh. What we got. All right. Unless I see any more questions in like the next 2 minutes, I'm probably going to head on out. Just so that way I could start writing on the script for my next YouTube video. Because I got the recording down and I need to write the script. So I can start working on my next YouTube video. So currently I'm going back to doing just reviews and ship tours and stuff. I've put a pause on the cruise news right now. Just because that was a lot of work to get together, film, record, script write on such a short timetable. I eventually want to go back to do that again, but given that it's first week back at my main job, which is teaching at the college, this week has been crazy. Last week's been crazy. Before that, I was on vacation. I'm not one of those people who make enough money on YouTube as of yet to justify all that work on such a short time frame when I'm already off of my main job. Would it be smart to do so? Yeah, but gotta balance it. Ooh, 2020 MSC World Cruise is now open. See, look at that. Some cruise lines are already releasing their 2028 schedules. Sounds like it is time to start booking for 2028. All right, I still have no clue how to achieve the initial reason for this live stream was to see how I could do a wide view and a thin view off of YouTube. So I'm probably going to end TikTok stream right now. And then I'm going to try to use that phone to figure out how to do what I wanted to do on YouTube, which was what I was trying to experiment on. I was trying to experiment on YouTube on how to display both horizontal and vertically. I have not achieved that. That was an original goal. So in TikTok, focus on YouTube, see if I can figure that out on YouTube. But even then, I'm probably not to be so much on there very longer. So, all right, TikTok, I'll see you in a little bit eventually. Check out my videos. Oh. Alrighty. Let's figure out how to do what I wanted on YouTube. I don't know even how to begin to look at that. I'm gonna try one thing, see if that works. If I download YouTube, I don't know how. This is where I need to watch some YouTube on how to do what I want to do on YouTube. Watch someone else's video, make them a few bucks so I know what I'm doing. Because in theory, this live stream should be displayed in wide view and so horizontally and vertically. You should be able to see it in both formats, but I don't know if this live stream can both formats. But I wanted to. And you can do that. It's a feature YouTube has. So either I don't have that feature yet because I'm a smaller channel, or I'm just completely clueless on what I'm doing on YouTube. It's probably more likely of the two. So that's not what I meant to do, but okay. Let's switch to something completely different. Let's do this. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do, actually, that's what I wanted to do. Let's go to Bosque Vacations. Check me out. Live streaming in the wide format. That's not the format I want. Anyway, I will YouTube how to do that. So I'm probably going to head out now because that was a fail. Maybe something on the settings here. No, I don't want to highlight. No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to have to get off and figure it out now. Maybe experiments another day next week. Figure out how this works. So, all right, I will see y'all later.